Hi guys, this is Ashley, personal trainer and weight loss coach. Today we're going to talk about, do you have to diet forever? I know it can seem like this is a never-ending process, especially if you're on a long weight loss journey. If it's taking maybe a year or two to get to where you want to be and not just 2 months of effort, it can seem like this is just never-ending. You're always on a diet, always doing some kind of exercise, and you're probably wondering, when does this end? When do I get to that beautiful maintenance phase where I get to just stay at the same weight? Or you may have lost weight before and thought, okay, I did it, I hit my goal, I got to 130 pounds, whatever it is, and you thought you were good, and then 3 months later, 5 pounds are back. 6 months later, another 5 pounds, you're 10 pounds up, and you're going, I thought I did it, I achieved what I wanted to achieve, now my weight's going back up, like how am I supposed to maintain this? So today we're going to talk about maintenance, which is really the more fun part of the weight loss journey because you've achieved the goal, and now we're just focusing on how to stop yo-yoing, how to keep your goal weight. So let's get into that today. Let's talk first about what it is to maintain. Basically what we want to see is that you're not having a lot of drastic fluctuations. We want to make sure that if you're gaining, that you're also losing. Because that's a natural part of your body and how it functions. So you still will have some water weight retention from time to time throughout the month. Different things. You're not going to be the exact same weight every single day for the rest of your life. So let's say your goal was 130 pounds, let's say. So you get to 130 and you're feeling good about that, and then 2 weeks later you're 131 or 132 and you're thinking, oh no, I gained 2 pounds, I have to freak out and go on some crazy juice cleanse or something to get this off. Don't panic just yet. Give it a week or two, see what happens. Who knows, you could just be a little bit bloated, retaining some water. Could be a lot of little different things. So give it a few days, see if it regulates out. If you drop back down to 130, it was probably kind of just a fluke, a little fluctuation. If you see it's going 132, 133, 135, we know something has gone wrong and we need to turn around and get it back on track. So now that we know a little bit about what we definitely mean by maintenance, expect some fluctuations, but if we're seeing it going higher, 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 we know something's gone wrong. We're not maintaining properly. Let's look at what it means to maintain properly. Rule number 1 for maintenance: no sudden changes for 4 to 8 weeks. So that might sound like a lot. I know it's definitely hard. I know we want to reward ourselves. When you get to that goal weight, you hit 130, 120, whatever it is, and you're like, yeah, I did it. I'm going to have a cupcake. But when you do that, then don't be surprised when you wake up and you're a pound heavier. Your body's not used to that kind of stuff because you spent the past 6 months, a year, whatever, trying to eat clean and stuff. So you are going to react to different foods if you change up your diet suddenly just stop exercising. So no changes for 4 to 8 weeks. Sounds crazy, but what I've seen personally for myself and my clients is that you need about 4 to 8 weeks to really figure out, did you actually hit your goal? You may have just fluctuated and hit your goal. Maybe you just dropped a pound or two because of some, weight changes, just a fluctuation. It's not like a true weight. It might just be, water retention or bloat or something going on. There was a slight change and you whoop, dropped a pound or two and, oh, I hit 120, yay. But the very next day you're already 122. That happens, it happens. So what you have to do is just prepare yourself mentally that you're going to maintain that weight for 4 to 8 weeks. Now you will see it kind of fluctuate, but so long as you're coming back to that baseline of the goal weight, 120, then I would say yes, you are maintaining. So 4 to 8 weeks of just kind of watching it, check the scale once a week, maybe twice a week. You don't have to go nuts, but just kind of see, am I coming in at 120 or whatever the goal weight is. I'm just throwing out a number. Am I 120 or am I suddenly 125? How much am I really holding this? And if you're within maybe a 2-3 pound fluctuation where that goal number is pretty much your baseline that you keep coming back to, that's a perfect maintenance phase and you're doing well. So keep everything the same, your diet, your exercise. See if you can hold that for 4 weeks. If you're having some trouble, then you may want to really, really stick to everything for the full 8 weeks and see where that baseline really is. Because you may need to lose a pound or two more to really get to where your real baseline is the goal number. I hope that's making sense. Rule number 2, you want to slowly transition your maintenance phase. And just so you know, guys, there's like a major thunderstorm going on right now, so you might hear some rumbling in the back. I can't control the thunder. So rule number 2 is about slowly making changes to your exercise. Many of us, if we're losing weight, we're probably going hard in the gym like 5 days a week. That's just kind of the energy we attack this with a lot of time. Some people are, pretty chill and they're losing their weight and they're only doing like twice a week, moderate exercise, and that's great. But if you are going like hard, you're like running 3 days a week, lifting or doing some kind of strength training for 2 or HIIT workouts or different things, you're really hitting it a lot, then don't just suddenly say, okay, hit my goal weight, I'm not going back to the gym. Don't do that. We're going to make slow changes. So I would say dropping back to maybe 3 days a week from 5 and still keeping it pretty intense on those 3 days. You also want to make sure, especially at this point, if you have not been including some kind of strength training, resistance training, then you need to make sure you're starting to include it now as you approach where you want to be for your goal weight and you're trying to maintain it. This is going to be crucial to you maintaining the weight. You cannot rely on just cardio to maintain it. If you are only doing cardio without strength training, resistance training, and you expect to maintain the weight, you will probably be very disappointed because it's not going to work. It won't happen. Why it won't work? You need the muscle to increase your metabolism. And if you can increase your metabolism, then you are burning more calories, and that is how you're going to be able to dial back and be able to give yourself some freedom with your eating. The muscle is the key to making life enjoyable again. If you don't build the muscle, you are going to be stuck on the diet forever, stuck running forever. So I'm telling you now, if you're going to make some exercise changes for rule number 2, make them slowly and make sure you're incorporating some strength training. What you need to prepare yourself for also is if you are just now including strength training and adding that in or stepping up your game with that, you probably will gain a pound or 2 of muscle. I'm sorry. I know it's not what you wanted to hear, and you're going to be frustrated because you're thinking, I just got to my goal weight and I did what Ashley said and now I gained 2 pounds. It's going to be a little frustrating. Press through anyway. You need that muscle, or again, life is just not going to be sweet. You'll be at your goal weight, but you will run forever. You'll be doing cardio forever. So it's worth the investment to do the strength training, gain the pound or 2, stay in your maintenance phase, don't change much else. Try to get back to where your goal weight is pretty much that baseline you keep coming back to, and you will thank yourself, and this is going to set you up for long-term success. Rule number 3. We want to start making some diet changes. I'm sure you are ready to be off this diet, okay? So whatever it is you've been eating or avoiding carbs or doing all this stuff, you're probably starting to hallucinate about food by now, thinking about how good a pizza would taste and how you wish you didn't have to order thin crust and having those kind of thoughts. Totally normal. So if you're at your maintenance goal area, your maintenance phase, this part is also critical. I can't tell you how many clients I have that get to their maintenance phase, they think they're doing well, and within a couple months they're like, okay, I lost it. And it's usually because of the diet. And they usually know right off the bat, and they're like, look, I hadn't had a burger in forever. So I was like, I'm gonna have a burger. And one burger turned into a burger every day, and 10 pounds came right back. That's how that works. This is how your body functions. You can't really go to a complete stop of all the healthy habits that you've built, which, remember, that's why we set this up not to be a crazy fad diet, not to be some crazy intense thing that we can't maintain. We want to build our weight loss journey as a lifestyle so that when we get to this point, we aren't going completely nuts and, trying to get off of this diet or get off of this exercise routine. You should be feeling like this is a normal part of my life. It's not too extreme. It's something I can keep going if I had to. But we all know in reality, in your mind, you're kind of going, but I want some candy. Like I want, to live a little more than I have been. And that's normal. So slow diet changes, what do I mean? I mean we're making like one change at a time. So you've already maintained weight for 4 to 8 weeks. Now what we're doing is we might say, okay, this week or maybe a few days, I'll let myself have a sandwich because I haven't been having bread. And, you know, for lunch, maybe when we go out, you know, for lunch or whatever, right now there's a quarantine, no one's going out for lunch, but whatever, you make yourself a sandwich and see how your body responds to bread. It might be able to handle it. Your metabolism might be a lot faster now, and you're not gaining weight and you're having, you know, a light sandwich for lunch. Or maybe it's not ready yet and you gain a couple pounds and you're like, ooh, okay, maybe bread's not on there. But if you change one little thing at a time, you'll be able to kind of see what you can and can't handle better. If you just go off the reins, then we don't know, was it fast food that did it? Was it adding soda back in that did it? Was it bread? Was it sugar? What was it that you responded so poorly to? Because it could be at this point your body's healthier, it's functioning better. Most likely trying to incorporate old junk foods and things like that, you are going to have an adverse reaction anyway, because you've been eating so nice for so long that your body's going to be like, what is that? And it's not going to be very pleasant. But at least this way you'll be able to see if there are certain things maybe you were avoiding that now you don't have to avoid. For instance, sometimes people will go low dairy, you know, and now that you've lost the weight, you might be able to have more cheese and dairy and not have as much stomach issues with it. You may not gain any weight from it. And it may be something you can add back into your life, give it a little flavor, a little excitement, without going nuts and without gaining the weight all back. So I just recommend going slow with your diet changes. I actually anticipated this. I thought, what if the power goes out? And I said, it's a really good thing that my little light is on its own battery. Well, I can't film in the dark. All right, the power's back on, so let's go ahead. We're gonna finish this up because it's really nothing left to talk about anyway. All right, so we were talking about rule number 3 and making sure that we make slow diet changes. So test it out, just see how your diet changes go. Mostly you want to make sure that you're watching your portion sizes, that you're not going off the charts with things. You can scale back on things like tracking the calories. At this point, now that you're at the maintenance phase, you probably got an idea of where you need to stay to be on track. So you can kind of ditch that or just casually, occasionally check in with it. So these are my top 3 rules for being able to maintain your weight. And really this is the key to being able to not yo-yo and gain the weight back and have to do it all over again. So if you do these things, it's definitely going to help you. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. You don't have to do these things forever. But if you find that it's been 4 weeks, it's been 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you're trying to maintain the weight and it's slowly going up on you and you're not actually maintaining, you need to revert back to your previous diet and exercise methods. So if you were working out 5 days a week, if you were eating super clean, whatever it was that was helping you to lose the weight, you have to go back to that. Stick with that until you actually really hit the goal and you're able to maintain it. And keep working towards it, keep pushing. You're not quite there yet. Sometimes we think we're done and we're not actually done. So make sure that you're actually in the maintenance phase when you engage in these 3 rules. And if you're seeing that it's going up, you were not really at your maintenance phase. You need to kind of get back on track, keep focusing, don't lose it just yet. You may even need to go a pound or 2 below your true goal weight. I know that's scary to hear, but if you go a pound or 2 lower, then when you have those fluctuations, you actually are happily at your baseline goal weight. So these are my top tip, guys. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I have links below to my Facebook and Instagram and all those things. Follow me there, and I hope that this video really blesses you and helps you with your weight loss journey. Thanks, guys.